Iran's president is accusing Pakistani agents of involvement in a suicide bombing in the southeastern province of Sistan and Baluchistan on Sunday that left at least 42 people dead and injured, dozens more. According to state media, one or more suicide bombers targeted a group of Revolutionary Guard leaders who'd arranged to meet tribal leaders in the Sunni region close to the Pakistani border. Reports said a suicide bomber detonated a belt packed with explosives as the meeting was about to start. 6 Revolutionary Guard commanders were among those killed. Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad has called on Pakistan to arrest the attackers who he had said entered Iran from Pakistan. Ahmadinejad's accusation came after Iranian state media said the Sunni group Jundullah claimed responsibility for the attack. The Pakistani Foreign Ministry spokespersons dismiss claims that Jundullah's leader is in Pakistan. Some Iranian officials are pointing the finger of blame at the United States. Parliament Speaker Ali Lanjani said U.S. action contributed to the attack, and the head of Iran's Revolutionary Guard, Major General Mohammad Ali Jafari, said he believed U.S. and British intelligence were involved and that there would, quote, have to be retaliatory measures to punish them. The U.S. State Department's denied involvement with the group and condemned the attack. For more, we're joined on the telephone by Pepe Escobar. He's foreign correspondent for the Asia Times, who's written extensively about the southeastern Sistan-Baluchistan province in Iran. We welcome you to Democracy Now! What do you understand about this bombing and killings?
Thanks very much, Amy. Look, this is empire of chaos applied to a huge area encompassing southern Afghanistan, eastern Iran, and western Pakistan. This is where the Baluchis live. We have more or less 6 million Baluchis on the Pakistani side of the border and 4 million on the Iranian side. Most of them are Sunnis, including the people who live on the Iranian side of the border. This is the poorest province of the 30 Iranian provinces. It's neglected by Tehran. There's a sectarian divide, of course, and, of course, infiltrations by drug gangs. Drug smuggling is the main activity. They are all Baluchi cousins, and most of them, I mean, the most important businessmen of the region, they are involved in the drug trade. And obviously, they are extremely conservative in religious terms. I would not say that they are Al-Qaeda-style Wahhabis or Deobandis, like the school that indoctrinated the Taliban in Pakistan. But they are very, very anti-Shiite. And that's the key of this attack by Jundullah. They must have an extraordinary intel on the ground to mount an attack by a suicide bomber against top Revolutionary Guard commanders, including the number 2 of the armed forces of the Revolutionary Guards who came from Tehran for this meeting. And the purpose of the meeting was to reconcile Sunnis and Shiites in a small town near the Pakistani border on the Iranian Baluchistan side. So what does that tell us? It tells us that what Jundullah, which was founded in 2003, and it's basically a Pakistani-based Sunni outfit composed of Baluchis and against the power in Tehran, basically the Shiite power in Tehran, they are at the moment organizing what they have called 4 months ago, in fact, in May, before the Iranian presidential elections, a strategic corridor. This strategic corridor starts in Afghanistan, in Nangarhar province in eastern Afghanistan, crosses through the Khyber Pass in Pakistan, in the tribal areas, through Pakistani Baluchistan and all the way to Iranian Baluchistan. So this is a Sunni hardcore destabilizing strategic corridor, and it goes against basically the Pakistani government, of course, in Islamabad, because this is Baluchi separatist element is very strong, against Iran. And who would profit from all this in terms of an empire of chaos mindset? Obviously, the U.S. So no wonder people in Tehran, not only the Revolutionary Guards, but Speaker of the Parliament, Ali Larijani, and of course the Supreme Leader, who hasn't said anything about that, but he will in the next few days, certainly. They are extremely paranoid that I would say, all-encompassing Sunni hardcore insurgency in AFPAC is spilling over to Iran as well. And I think this is the deeper meaning of this attack, because this is the number one attack by Jundullah. They mount basically kidnappings. They kill Iranian officials near the border. They start kidnapping civilians 3 or 4 years ago. They bombed the mosque in Zahedan in southeast Iran last year, before the Iranian presidential elections. And now they mount this extraordinarily, I would say, their top operations for the past 6 years, since they were founded in 2003. And it goes directly against the heart of the power in Tehran, because we cannot forget that after the Iranian presidential elections, the Revolutionary Guards, in fact, are the true power ruling Iran nowadays. I tend to call it the military dictatorship of the Mulatariat. And that's exactly what happened. And they have been now threatened directly by a small Sunni outfit based in Pakistan. So you can imagine why Tehran is so absolutely desperate to have a summit meeting with Pakistan to clear this out. So how are you going to tackle Jundullah inside Pakistan, or are we going to mount our own cross-border operations to start attacking Jundullah bases inside Pakistan?
Can you talk about the method of the suicide bombing that was used, Pepe Escobar?
Yes, absolutely. This is an Al-Qaeda style attack, in fact, which has been used by a lot of Taliban, Pakistani Taliban inside Pakistan. And this spells an intimate relationship between, I would say, scattered Al-Qaeda operatives. I would not say the historic Al-Qaeda leadership, maybe new Al-Qaeda, as we call them in Pakistan, and Jundullah as well. This is because of this meeting between the current leader of Jundullah, Abdel Malik Rigi, and some top Al-Qaeda operatives. They had a meeting in Baluchistan around 4 months ago, where they discussed this strategic corridor between Afpak, Baluchistan, and Iran. So obviously they are using Al-Qaeda tactics like suicide bombing. And the only way they could mount this attack inside an Iranian city, which was obviously very well guarded and fortified, because people came from Tehran, revolutionary guards came from Tehran for this meeting, is that they had local tribal alliances that gave them on-the-ground intel, pinpointing the exact location of the meeting. So, it was in military terms, was a very well-organized operation, and it could only be organized with extremely good and reliable on-the-ground intelligence. And this means Baluchi, Sunni tribal leaders who live inside Iran and not in Pakistan.
I wanted to go back to an article that Cy Hirsch wrote in The New Yorker, where he says, one of the most active and violent anti-regime groups in Iran today is the Jundullah, also known as the Iranian People's Resistance Movement, which describes itself as a resistance force fighting for the rights of Sunnis in Iran. This is a vicious Salafi organization whose followers attended the same addresses as the Taliban and Pakistani extremists, said Tufts University professor Nasser, who went on to say they're suspected of having links to al-Qaeda. They're also thought to be tied to the drug culture. Then Cy Hirsch goes on to say the Jundullah took responsibility for the bombing of the busload of Revolutionary Guard soldiers. In February 2007, at least 11 Guard members were killed. According to the former CIA agent Robert Baer and to press reports, the Jundullah is among the groups in Iran that are benefiting from U.S. support. That was Cy Hirsch in The New Yorker. I have been watching the mainstream media coverage in this country, and they are immediately dismissing the Iranian leadership's allegations that this has anything to do with U.S. or British or Pakistani support of Jundullah.
Well, Amy, the thing is, the brother of Abdul Malik Rigi, Abdul Hamid, he was captured last year by the Pakistanis, by the way, in Baluchistan, and then he was extradited to Iran. He was executed in Iran, in fact. Last year, if I'm not mistaken, last year he gave an interview to Press TV, the semi-official Iranian TV network, where he explained, I would say in a reasonable detail, how the CIA approached